Hello, this is Graham from letslearnthis.com. Now in this lesson we're going to go over some numbers in Python. We're not going to do any serious deep maths or anything like that. There's plenty of time for that in later lessons. I just want to show you how we work with them and combine them a bit with the variables that we've covered in previous lessons. Okay, so let's get started. Let's open our Python idle GUI. And now before we open a new window here, we're just going to I'm just going to type some things in here so that you can see, that you can do some maths without any difficulty really. Alright, so let's just do, for example, 2 plus 10, and there we go. Python gives us the answer straight away. We didn't even need an equals sign. It knows what we want to do. And we can do multiplication in here, for example, 3 times 3, and notice that it didn't worry that we had a space here and we didn't have any spaces here. It still knows what to do. We can do some division, so 3 divided by 3 equals 1, and we can carry on doing things like that. Now there's some things to be aware of here, depending actually on what version of Python you're using. So I'll just show you, and then we can talk about it afterwards. So let's do 10 divided by 3. So it's telling us 10 divided by 3 is 3. Well, we know that it's not 3. It's 3.333 and so on. But in Python 2.7, it looks at the 10 and it looks at the 3 in the sum here, and it sees that they're both integer numbers. They're both whole numbers. And so it says, I know you want the result to be a whole number, so I'll give you the result of 3. So it thinks it's helping you out in a way, I suppose. Now in the most recent version of Python, it will give you 3.333. It just has changed the way that it works. It's just something to be aware of, and there's a number of things like that I'll point out as we go along. So what if we want to get the correct answer here? Well, all we have to do is tell Python that we want to use a float, so we just need to put a decimal point in. Okay, so let's go back to our 10 divided by 3. 10 divided by 3, if we put 3.0, now Python knows that because we've got a decimal point in there, we want the answer to be a float, and so it gives us the correct answer here. And we could put that decimal point anywhere. It could be 10.0 divided by 3, or it could be 10.0 divided by 3.0, or we could just do 10 point divided by 3. As long as it sees a decimal point in there, it knows what you want to do. So that's just something to be aware of, and it's worthwhile just having a little play in here and just seeing what things you can come up with. You can get as complex as you like. There's probably no mathematical computation that Python won't do for you, as long as you know the correct syntax. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a bit about how we might combine numbers with variables. So let's go File, New here, and make ourselves a little program. Now let's imagine that we've got a game, okay, and we're going to have a health, if I can spell, health variable. We might want to start that as 100, okay, and then we've got a damage variable. We make the damage equal to 5. Now obviously this is not a real example because we're just telling it that what we're going to do, rather than going around in a loop like you would in a game. We'll come to that anyway. So if we say health equals health minus damage, okay, so what's going to happen here? We've got a health variable, and inside that we've put the value of 100, and we've got a damage variable, and inside that we put a value of 5. So here we're saying health equals health minus damage, so health is going to equal 100 minus 5. And this is a bit strange here because we're setting the variable as health, and then we're using the health in the computation as well. Now that is absolutely fine, and that's something that you really end up doing a lot as you write more complex programs. Okay, so let's print. What should we print? Let's print health just to start with. So we should see here the answer we're going to expect is 100 minus 5, because we're doing here 100 minus 5, which is being put into the health variable. So we should see 95. So let's just run that. I'll just move this over so we can see. Okay, let's just save it. Tutorial 4. And there we go, there's the result, 95. Now suppose we want to tidy this up and write something like your health level is, and then the result. So let's do that. So let's print your health level is. And you remember before when we were sticking the strings together with variables and we were printing them, we just did plus and then the name of the variable plus health. So let's see what happens here. So what it's trying to do is print this string, your health level is, and then we're putting the plus sign to join it on the end, but there might be a problem here. Let's try it. Yeah, look, it's saying cannot concatenate a string and int objects. So it can't stick together a string, a piece of text, and an integer. It doesn't know what to do. So we need to give it a little helping hand here. So there's actually a number of ways to do this, and I'll show you them as we go along and they make more sense. But I'm going to show you this way for now. So we're going to do the same. Print your health level is. We can use the plus signs still, but now we're going to tell it by using this string function here that we want to change the value in health to be a string, so then it can stick one string together with another string. Okay, so let's get rid of that for now. See what happens here. Okay, so here we have it. Your health level is 95. Now that's great. Now we could put all this together into a new variable and print that out, and sometimes that's quite helpful if you have things like a status bar or a status caption on a form or something like that. So let's just show that. So we're going to make a new variable here called status. We're going to make status equal to exactly the things that we just printed. So now we're just going to print status, and let's see what that does now. Okay, so we get the same result, which is exactly what we wanted. We just printed status. The status is in here. Now if we're going around in a loop, which we'll cover in the coming lessons where things get exciting, we could print that status every time it goes around the loop, or every so often. So it would give feedback to a user perhaps to say what their health level is, you know, every 10 seconds or so, or every 10 times around the loop. Anyway, so now you know how to print out a string with a number on the end. We've done some basic work with numbers, some basic sums, and we'll build on this as we go along, but for now that just gives us a little primer as to what we need to know. Alright then, well, I'll catch you in the next lesson, and thanks for joining me. Bye.